It's Vernisa, and I'm here to speak up. It's time to speak up. Hello, everyone. My name is Vernisa, and this is my podcast, Speak Up. Hope you guys are all having a great week so far and enjoying this lovely weather. For those of you that don't know, the mission statement for this podcast is we use our voices to motivate people to overcome life's challenges through self-love and respect. So shout out to the new listeners out there. This is the place for self-love and inner peace. So welcome to SpeakUpJV. Before I get started, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester in Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask for mine. Tell them that SpeakUpJV sent you. The Instagram is at myy.bar. And also shout out to Be Actual Natural. Why settle for less? All the products are created with you in mind for a goal to let your self-love show through your self-care. The chemical-free hair and skincare products are handmade, plant-based, and free of fillers or preservatives. Treat yourself while taking care of yourself. Start your journey at www.beactualnatural.com, and Instagram is at beactualnatural. So yes, y'all, I'm feeling really good today. It's the beginning of August, so I'm gonna do a little different type of episode. Tonight's episode is titled "Keep It in Check." So tonight I'm going to be talking about balance, balance with your personal life, with ambition, keep it in check. I think sometimes we let one or the other take over. And, I think, too much, it's nice to be ambitious and all, but too much of that sometimes can stunt your personal life. And then being too enthralled in your personal life can stunt you from your ambition life. So, both of those go hand in hand. It's really about just finding a healthy balance. And this is actually a reminder for myself. I'm a person who wears many hats as well. And I have to remind myself to stay grounded and, to give the right amount of attention to different components of my life. So it is time for the accent. So tonight's ACT question is, do you think you have a healthy balance with your personal life and ambition? So if you're listening out there, please comment. I would love to hear your feedback on this question. Like, do you think you have a healthy balance with your personal life and ambition? So I'm going to go ahead and say yes for me. And I say that because I've always been an ambitious person, and I've always been a person who likes to enjoy life. And I think, one of my love languages is quality time. So I feel like when it comes to my personal life, I'm very intentional about like spending time with my family, my friends, and loved ones, or, spending time doing what I like to do. So I think I do balance that well. And I feel like I take my ambition with me. I'm really good at networking, getting to know meeting people, expanding businesses and things like that. So I feel like anywhere I go, I'm doing both. Like, I actually enjoy the journey. I'm enjoying the ambitious side of me because it is a part of me, and I feel like I don't let both hinder down. I could say, like, when it comes to work and stuff, I have caught myself being overworked and things like that, but I don't think I let my personal life combat my ambition. I feel like I've always knew like when to check those two, and not let one or the other, because like I'm big on distractions. I'm like, if something is distracting me too much, I gotta go. Like, especially if I have a goal in mind or I have a deadline I'm trying to meet, I'm like, if you're in the way of that, I gotta push that out. But if you're out there listening, please comment. Let's debunk that a little bit. Let's talk about what is causing that blockage or causing us to not be balanced with those things. Let's talk about the importance of giving yourself just as much attention as you give your ambition. So, we in a go get it era, the grind don't stop and things like that. I already did an episode on rest and things like that. But what are you giving to your personal life too? Rest is important and stuff like that too. But what about those other components in your life that make you who you are? The things that you like to do. And I mean, like your hobbies, your creative side, your family, your friends, those things too. I think, sometimes we get so caught up in the grind, we forget the simple things. And, I'm trying to spend more time like with family and things like that. I've caught myself being like overworked, overstressed about certain things like ambition wise. And I'm like, did I take the time to spend time with my family, actually give them that intentional time? So I think that's just a good reminder to put out there, especially when it's still being summertime. And I think this is a good time to, reunite with certain family members and friends and, get that in there, and we have to prioritize our peace on our journey. Let's be real. The grind isn't easy. Being ambitious isn't easy. A lot of times it does disturb your peace. Especially if you're doing things late at night, early in the morning, you're on the go. Are you making time for that peace? Are you making it a peaceful thing? Are you making it enjoyable? Are you taking the time to laugh? You guys know I used to do this podcast with our best friend. And one thing I liked about, we would come up with content, as busy as Speak Up would have us, we would like pause in between planning episodes and just laugh or just do something funny or watch a show or something, like we would still find that way to enjoy ourselves while still doing something productive. Personally, me, I love to take mini breaks when I'm doing something, especially something that's tedious. That helps me not get burnt out. I'll say that, not get burnt out on what I'm doing, because if you're doing the same thing repetitively over and over again, it's easy to get burnt out, or like easy for the fun of it to get sucked out. So, you have to find that balance, even with the peace that comes with it. Taking the time to pause and take a deep breath. I have a water segment on here. Drinking that sip of water that you need. Don't get too overworked to where you become dehydrated. To where you ain't smiled all day. You haven't actually walked outside and stretched and got some fresh air. This is the balance I'm talking about for this episode. Let's talk about too, the benefits of wearing different hats in the entrepreneur world. So a lot of people, especially if you live in LA, you got different grinds. It ain't just one thing. A lot of people, I know people who have multiple businesses, or who work a job and have a business, or this and this, or their parents, and they have multiple business and a job, so it's like, when you're wearing, or you take care of somebody, when you're wearing all these hats, it's easy too to forget about yourself. I remember too, this meditation coach once said, when you're meditating, remove all the hats that you wear every day. And, we don't think about that. I think we're so used to being Superman or Superwoman, in our life, that we forget about ourselves sometimes, because, we have all these different things that we have to tend to, especially parents. I'm not a parent yet, but, I have seen how parenting, in different households can, obviously take the attention off of like certain things in your own personal life. So I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry, I lost track of what I was saying. But yeah, wearing those different hats could definitely, make you forget about the hat that you wear for yourself. And I think sometimes we have to remember that we are wearing our own hat as well. And it's okay to give that time, because the more you give that hat of yourself time, actually, the more energy and strength you will have to wear the other hats as well. You don't want to get burnt out to where you can't tend to those other tasks and people and things, responsibilities and businesses that you have to tend to. Let's talk about the benefits of wearing different hats in the entrepreneur world. So, it's benefits of having multiple businesses. It opens you up to different audiences, different types of people, it's different business coming in, of course, another source of income. It's beauty to that. I think it's amazing. I know people who have like 3 or 4 businesses, and I'm just like, wow, how do you do all that? It's definitely a flex, for real. I love it. But the cons of it too can be, no one talks about the struggle that people go through. I'm a person that wears different hats as well, like different personal things that I do, other sources of income and stuff that I have coming in as well too, where I'm like, okay, I got to take the time to be balanced and stuff. And like, I don't want to give one too much attention to where I forget about the others. And, it's definitely a skill, learning to balance the both, especially when like life circumstances happen. And, I think in those moments, you have to realize, okay, what's more of a priority at this moment and what isn't? Or how can I still feed the other ones, but then give this one that attention that it has to have, and don't be afraid to ask for help. I think we take a lot of pride in that whole notion, like, oh, I got it out the mud, did it myself, this and that. That's cool. And also a lot of things that we can't do on our own, but there's just some things that we just can't. And sometimes you have to ask for help. And, whether it is like just advice, if you have, a friend who is running multiple businesses, asking them how they do it, maybe getting an assistant, having a little younger sibling help you out, with certain things like, I think we should take pride out of things. We can't let pride and our ego block us from certain blessings in our life. Some people are just sit here to help you, ready to help you, be there for you, give you that advice that you need. Be open to learn, be open to knowledge. I've been learning the beauty of that. Like, I'm not afraid to like walk up to people and be like, how'd you do that? Or what advice would you give with this, and this? And you feel so great after, and it's like it gives you more people to thank, and it expands your network. It's nothing, what's the point of somebody being in your network if like you guys aren't benefiting each other too? I feel like it should be a give and take situation for both of you guys, mutual. So that's another way too to prevent like one-sided situations. It's very important to have a genuine and effective network when it comes to wearing these different hats in this. So a lot of people don't network, and like they're not having genuine intentions when they're networking. So just be cautious about who you're shaking hands with, who you're exchanging information with. What is their professionalism like? Those are definitely things to look at. I've been learning too the importance of going to networking events. I love networking events. I know it sounds kind of corny, this and that, but no, you get some gems going to some networking events, and a lot of these events be free. Yes, there's big fancy ones you got to pay for, this and this, but go to a local. I dare you, go to a local networking event in your neighborhood. Go to one, and you'll be surprised what kind of people you meet from all different walks of life. Different types of businesses, and how you guys can benefit each other. They might be interested in what you're selling or what you're doing. You never know. I just have to say, I actually have a networking event coming soon. So I'm like, why not bring people together? And it's about finishing 2023 strong. So if you want more information, the link is in my bio. It's a free, go to @SpeakUpJV on Instagram, click the Eventbrite link, and there you go. You're able to come. It's a free event. And I want to say this too. I said this in a previous episode. You can't keep going if you're on E. So if you're overstretching yourself for all these different businesses and different hats, a day is going to come where you do go on E, and none of the businesses or responsibilities are going to get attention. So you have to be mindful of that. When doing all those things. It's okay to slow down and collect your thoughts. That's been beautiful for me. Like I've been like, I'm gonna take a break. What am I going so fast for? When I can literally just slow down, get my mind right, and actually get effective work done, effective progress. I actually feel more better about myself when the things are planned out, and I'm actually taking care of myself in the process of all the busy stuff that I have to do. I've seen videos of people say they didn't eat that day, because they didn't have time. They didn't do this, they didn't do that. It's like, I'm sorry, take the time out to nourish your body. Even if you got to take a bar with you, have a bottle. I always keep a bottle of water near me, because like sometimes you do get so busy where you don't have time to manually get up and walk and go get some water. But if you already have it with you, what's your excuse? So those are just those simple habits. I think that it's important to just incorporate in your day to make it easier on you, easier on yourself. So I just want to throw that in there. And if you guys have any charge up advice, please put it in there. How do you recharge when you're feeling like you're going on E? What are some tips you would recommend to other people? Please put them in the comments. I would love to read your feedback because I'm always looking for new ways to just stay recharged. So it is time for the tweet up segment. So y'all know I like to be on Twitter, even though it's not called that anymore. I'm gonna figure out what the real name is. But something that I tweeted this week that goes with tonight's episode is balance brings clarity. And let's debunk that a little bit. Balance is very important. I don't know if you guys ever been off balance before and everything just feels chaotic and all over the place. I think so much better when everything's balanced. And when I say that, it could be the simple things like, I learned I don't like to sit in clutter. I learned I feel off balance if I'm in clutter. So if my car is a mess, if my place is a mess, or my just productive area is a mess, that is just going to bring the unbalance for me. I have clarity when I'm in a nice, neat setting. Take the time out to clean your space. Clean your space. You'll feel so much better if your space is clean and organized, and then you can really think. That's like a step one. Open the blinds, open your window, let fresh air in. Those little things start, set the tone for your day. And once the tone is set, I feel like from there you can start to get into that organization mode where you're organizing. Okay, what do I need to do? What I need to do? And when you have that balance, that clarity comes up. What priority is more important? What should I focus on at this moment? What is distracting me at this moment that's stopping me from focusing on my priorities? all of that clarity is going to actually give you effective productivity. You're not going to be productive if you're overwhelmed, you're stressed. So I feel like, what's the point of speeding and rushing? I used to be a person that, well, I'm still working on it, but like I used to try to do everything so fast and just get so overwhelmed, trying to do like 50 things at once that nothing was really getting done because I'm really frustrated because things are getting more and more unorganized. But I'm learning the importance of taking my time and doing things one step at a time, and that actually has been helping me. You don't want to bring that chaos. Once that chaos takes over, guess what? You're more likely to get frustrated and probably stop what you're doing. So why not take your time, be balanced, and set the tone for your day? It's so much easier to execute ideas when you're in a balanced environment. You have all these ideas all day, but if you're unorganized and all over the place, it's not going to get done. So, let's talk about the importance of goal setting and staying organized when wearing these different hats. I told you guys before, I do a weekly whiteboard where I write out my goals for the week, and that actually helps me. It helps me do it daily. Like, so I do one for each day, and just important things that are priorities for me. And I'm really at that age, y'all, where I'm actually using the calendar on my phone, like the reminders that come up. It is what it is, and it's been helping me so much. I used to be that person, I just memorize everything, but I am becoming more busier, and things do slip through the cracks and stuff, so, sometimes too, people tell me things that are way ahead of schedule, like a SpeakUp events and things like that. So it's just important to find what works for you. Just that staying organized, because when you have different hats, especially when the hats grow or like you end up having a family and things like that, it's going to be harder and harder to stay organized. So I feel like we have to make an effort and a priority to figure out what is a priority for us, if that makes sense. I'm over here making up bars and stuff. So make sure you do that, because the entrepreneur world isn't easy. You're on the grind, you're on the go. Time is of the essence. It doesn't wait for anybody. So allow yourself to stay organized. So it is time for the Life Up segment. So Life Up segment is when I take the current topic and I relate it to an issue in today's world. So tonight's Life Up is letting our ambition take over our whole identity. So ain't nothing wrong being ambitious, being proud of it. Shoot, one of my names on Twitter is ambitious. Yes, that is definitely an identity in my life that I live by. However, I don't let it take complete control of me. And I say that because, like I said, you don't want to get to a space where it's like your ambition completely takes over, to where your whole life is just on that. Where you're not fitting in time to enjoy life, to enjoy people around you, or just to enjoy gratitude. I think sometimes we get so caught up in our ambition that we're never satisfied with, and I'm not saying settle either, but we're never satisfied with like the simple blessings that are in our life. Like the fact we woke up this morning, the fact we have a roof over our head, because we're so like, oh no, I didn't get that exact goal I wanted. There's nothing wrong with wanting more for yourself. But when you get to a space where nothing's making you happy, that's how you can get pushed into that depression, or feel, be into a low space where you feel like nothing's getting done. You're not happy where you are. I learned to enjoy every moment of the journey, even the downs, the ups and the downs, the challenging moments as well. You're learning in that moment. You're growing in that moment. A new skill is coming, and you're just learning how to pivot. And the more I've been focusing on just pivoting when little rocks come in the road, the less I'm upset when something does come up. Like, yeah, I'll have my moment where I'm like, oh my goodness, why did this happen? Da, da, da. But I'm learning to not let it consume me. And I think when we're so into our ambition, it consumes us. And you don't want to get to a point where you're so consumed and enthralled by it that even the small things don't make you happy anymore. So that's just something I want to throw in there too. And staying in that unsatisfied energy. I feel like anything someone does for you is never going to make you happy if you're so stuck on one thing not going right. I'll give you guys an example. What if you have a particular goal you want to meet and it takes you 15 years to finally get that goal? So what, you're going to spend 15 years of your life unhappy because that goal didn't come true yet? 15 years of not being in gratitude, 15 years of not being in enjoyment at all. Really ask yourself that, that when it comes to your ambitions and your goals, yes, still strive for it. Yes, still have that hunger for it. I'm not saying throw the dedication and commitment out the window. However, enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, enjoy the steps that it takes. Enjoy the people who are on the journey with you. I don't want to be a person that, is so consumed in all these things I'm trying to accomplish that I miss the current moment. I used to do that. I used to be so focused on this and this. I think about college, I went away for school. Met some amazing people. I had fun in college, but there were some times where I was like so consumed. What you have to study, you have to focus, but that was like a 4 years of life that was committed solely just to that, where like there is a gap in my life where I'm like, what would have happened, this and this, even though it was a good thing I was doing. But you don't want your whole life to just be solely into one thing. That's what I'm trying to say. So it's about finding that balance with those other components within your life. And then we always bring up social media for this too. Social media not promoting balance with the multiple hats. So we see it a lot. Like I said, those unhealthy, toxic positivity posts about the grind, about the ambition. No, take the time to enjoy life as well. Take the time to value the people who are in front of you at this moment. Tell people you love them. Tell people you appreciate them. All those things are important, even on your entrepreneur journey. I feel like it makes the journey better. It makes the journey actually feel more smoother than you just being so angry because you haven't met that goal yet. At least enjoy the ride until you get there. Because if it's going to take you 15 years, make it a nice challenge, challenge in 15 years, but with some good things that happen in between. And have grace with yourself. That's something else I want to throw in there when it comes to balancing these multiple hats. Especially if you do, props to the people out there, pat yourself on the back. People out there running multiple businesses who have multiple grinds. Congrats to you on that. However, have grace with yourself even when you do fall short. So it is time for the drink up segment. So if you're listening out there, please pull out some water, drink some water, and have a water fact for tonight. I had to have some cold water today because it is still hot. As y'all know, summertime is crazy. So tonight's water fact is, being dehydrated can also affect your mood, making you cranky, tired, or irritable. Water helps to flush out excess toxins, maintains regulatory, transports nutrients and oxygen, and best of all, increases energy and helps fight fatigue. So drink your water, okay? You don't want to be moody. You want to be dehydrated. And while you're wearing these multiple hats, you want to be in the best mood as possible, right? So drink your water, feel good about yourself, and that will give you more energy and a better mood to keep going and to balance those multiple hats. I want to say this too. Let go of the need to be so serious on your journey. Nothing wrong being serious, but I had to learn. I used to be this like real serious person when it came to my goals, and it's admirable, of course, but then I was realizing like I was not allowing myself to have certain fun or enjoy certain things. And now the point where I'm laughing at things now. I'm just enjoying the people around me more. It's like the journey doesn't seem so like serious and irritated, if that makes sense. So that's certain thing I definitely want to throw up in there. So it is time for the Poet Up segment. So as y'all may know, this is one of my newest segments on SpeakUpJV. So the Poet Up for tonight is a poem. Sorry, this is a quote from one of my poems. This poem is titled "Loving Yourself." So enjoy. When I was asked if I loved you, I always say yes, of course. But if I loved you so much, why did I ignore your screams? Why did I put you in situations that I know would knock you down? Why did I give your heart to people that I knew would hurt you? So nice, short and sweet, for our poems, Loving Yourself. You have poems you want me to share on here, please let me know. I would be glad to share any of you guys' poems. And this poem, it's crazy. I'm talking in third person as if I'm talking to myself, if that makes sense. So, with loving yourself, we have to be cautious of what situations we put ourselves through. So to relate it back to the episode is handling yourself with care, even when you're balancing these multiple hats that you're wearing. So that was my Poet Up segment for tonight. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now back into the episode. It is now time for the Show Up segment. So the Show Up segment, this is one of my other newest segments. So how did I show up for myself this week? I shut up for myself this week by prioritizing stretching. As y'all know, I'm on a running journey. I've been running a lot more lately, and I was not prioritizing stretching. Like, I was stretched. I do little mini ones, but this week I really took the time to stretch. Like, really, like, carved out some time, laid there, held the stretches for a nice amount of time, and my body felt really good when I did my next run. So that was definitely a way I showed up for myself, and I feel amazing. My body definitely has thanked me. So I would love to hear you guys' feedback of how did you guys show up for yourself. So please comment in the segment. I would love to see what you guys write. So it is time for the wrap-up segment. So how does this relate to self-love? Self-love is loving yourself enough to not let your other hats stop you from wearing your own hat. So remember who you are. Remember to balance everything. Remember to, create that safe, comfortable, balanced space so you can have that clarity. So you can get what you need to get done. So you don't lose yourself in the ambition. You know what I mean? Or to where you're not so consumed in yourself to where you go into a lazy state of mind and you stop giving attention to your ambitions. So have that balance within yourself and when it comes to your ambitions. And remember, you guys, take things one day at a time. So sometimes we don't meet every goal that we were going to do that day. Like, there's definitely some days I had where I had all this stuff planned and it just did not go that way. However, the next day I got back up and did what I needed to do. And have fun on the journey. Carve out time to laugh. Carve out time to call family member, talk for a minute. I have one of my grandfathers. He lives in Mississippi. Shout out to him. And we have 1 minute conversations, but those 1 minute conversations make me so happy. Cause it's literally it doesn't even have to be this long conversation, this and that. It's just knowing okay, I took this time out my day to say hello, say I love you. Sometimes that's all you need from special loved one. So carve those times out to have fun on the journey while you're at it. And remember, nothing is worth wearing you out. So I don't care what it is. Nothing is worth that, wearing you out completely. You have to make sure you're good, you're solid, you're balanced, so you can balance those other things and give that correct attention to the other responsibilities and priorities that you have. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's episode, and I hope you guys, take this message with you to be balanced, to have a more balanced rest of 2023, and to balance and juggle all your other hats in life. But before I go, a quick shout out to my amazing sponsors. Shout out to My Bar, located at 720 East Manchester in Inglewood, California. Get your nails, your lashes, your hair done. Ask for mine. Tell them that SpeakUpJV sent you. The Instagram is at myy.bar. And also shout out to Be Actual Natural. Why settle for less? All the products are created with you in mind. For go to let your self-love show through your self-care. The chemical-free hair and skincare products are handmade, plant-based, and free of fillers or preservatives. Treat yourself by taking care of yourself. Search journey www.beactualnatural.com. The Instagram is at beactualnatural. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You can follow me on Instagram at Vernisa or at SpeakUpJV. You can also, I'm on Twitter at SpeakUpJV. And these episodes will be available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Tell your friends to subscribe. I have a giveaway coming soon, so stay tuned for that information. Love you guys. See you soon. Bye.